So, hey everybody, Robert Dunt, arttop10.com, and I'm here today at the Bankside Gallery, which is just beside Tate Modern, as you can see over there. And the Bankside Gallery has currently got the RWS Open, the Royal Watercolour Society Open, like an open submission exhibition. You can see like the poster over there in the corner, and this is the place here. So, going to stroll inside and see what I can find. Okay everybody, so we are in to the RWS Open 2024. Just having a little general stroll through. It's quite an interesting exhibition actually. It was formerly known as the Contemporary Watercolour Competition, among many other names, during its 50-year history. It's the largest open submission water media exhibition in the world, attracting thousands of submissions nationally and internationally each year. So, yeah, it's quite cool. Oh, what I think is also very interesting is that it's not like the Royal Academy, where the Royal Academy you automatically get your stuff into the show. The RWS members don't actually have their things in the show, so this is genuinely an exhibition purely for people who submit. So, you know, the Royal Academy, like all the Royal Academicians get to put 6 of their things in, as long as whatever the general public manages to get in, but this is purely people who've submitted, which I think makes it even more interesting. Anyway, let's have a little delve in, start looking at a few things, see what happens. Oh, and I happen to have a felt tip painting in here, which it's a bit of entertainment. I'm sure we'll come across that at some point. Right, let's just stroll back up around down here and we'll start looking at, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, let's start from up here. So this one's by Jeon Choi Art Shop. It's an artist who spent a lot of time in art shops for sure. I like a little bird on the wall. Oh, so this is 3 by the same person, so they've done really nicely. Nice flowers popping through. What's that one? Atonement. Intriguing. Are they meant to be looking at like those Rothkos in the Tate? 740 framed, that one's sold. Stephen Jordan, like somebody in a pub. Elizabeth Nast, Cafe Helen. I won't go through every single one, but I think what's quite nice about the exhibition as you go along is it's got a huge variety of work, and actually that's what is particularly nice. So that is a watercolour and watercolour board, this one here. This is handmade watercolour on paper. Don't know how you'd actually make watercolour. This is acrylic on paper. So you've got a real nice, vast array of different mediums. Oh yes, look like this, ink on paper. So it gives you a real sense of what can be achieved with a watercolour. Oh, 1,950 framed, that one. Philippa Dwyer. Oh look, that's quite fine. Kate Wilson, discard 5, gouache, collage, graphite and watercolour pencil on paper. Check it out, you've got a real collection of stuff. Oh, look at this one. Alice Zakharenko, circularity, gouache and polychromous pencil on handmade flax paper. Wow, check it out. Fascinating. I have no idea what a sorry, it's obviously difficult. Both these are all glazed. You are going to get a bit of shadow. Polychromos pencil. I have no idea what that is. Oh wow, look at that. So this is quite nice. You go from something that's so overtly sort of not technical. Well, it's abstract because it's visible. So you've got something here that's clearly kind of representational of abstract qualities. This is more what you could say is abstract, if there is anything ever is abstract. And over here to something that's really sort of washed around onto something else similar Just got a sort of washy vibe. I really like that, actually. It's got a nice feel of that watercolour, just of it escaping out of control. I was chatting about watercolour to somebody this morning. That's Peter Davis. About how he was talking about how it's like jazz, because it's unforgiving and you have no choice. Like with a jazz solo, you just do the solo and it happens. This is quite cool. Donkey. Quite like these with the exploding colour. Watercolour and collage with Japanese paper. I wonder if the paper's made some sort of splashing like on these. Right, I'm just going to start gliding through. If I do every single picture, we might go a bit mad. But I like these. Look, so you've got quite a big, distinctive change to the vibe in there. Oh, look at these. These are kind of fun. I like these kind of weird, almost abstract things. Gouache and acrylic, also graphite and acrylic on paper. That was Justine Formentelli. So you got quite a big collection of things. Let's sweep over to this side. So look, these are completely different. These are much more like what you might have thought of a classic watercolour, you know, very, very carefully painted flowers. What you might think of as like a more traditional watercolour. I mean, beautifully done, but more traditional. Pricing's interesting because you just make it up yourself. So Yan Wu here, peony, £300. Isabel Fleming Boyd, Passion Flower, 1,600. I wonder what the price limit is here. This is 2,800. Have a little zoom in on that sort of detail. That's Kate Rolsheven. They got a few more flowers. Interesting, they seem to be, at least their vibe for hanging seems to be to group similar sort of subject matters together, I would say. Although suddenly you swoop off into this one, off the river. Oh, how intriguing, that one. Louise Ann Wright, of the river, sorry. Watercolour ink and 24 gold carat leaf, 3,500. Oh, this must be the gold leaf here, mustn't it? Which is kind of cool. And look at that detail. Intriguing. Sort of almost like a map, like something geographical potentially. And weirdly, fits quite well actually beside this snail. Robert Mackenzie souvenir, 750 framed. Souvenir from holiday, one assumes. Cat tail. Oh, got some birds lurking around on the table. I suppose that's a bit Mary Fedden-esque. It's quite sweet, actually. Some grows on you, that one. Oh, that almost looks, look at that. It's acrylic on compressed cardboard. So it does show you what you can do. You can do a vast amount of stuff in this show. All sorts of mediums, watercolour and gouache on prepared paper. Oh, Greg Becker. Okay, so that is the winner of the Della Rowney Prize. I was here on the private view night and they were giving out loads of prizes. Interesting. I'll point out the other winners. Keith Knight, that's got a weird kind of actual gawky vibe to it. It's quite disturbing. You get a bit lost in that. I think you might go a bit mental. Keith Knight. And look, so I suppose the other thing, not only the materials are quite consistently changing, but you've also got the vibe. I mean, the actual subject matter. Well, whether the image is the subject matter of the painting or not is another discussion. But look, you shift from something like here, where you've got sort of picture of a guy asleep, something sort of representational, dreamlike, almost surrealist, down to something much more like this, where you've got much more gentle, soft realism, to something abstract, to sort of over to an onion. Interesting. Oh, now this is, that's actually quite nice, that picture. Sort of a bit Ben Nicholson here, a bit Mary Fedden, bit of all those things. Intriguing. 375 Mussels and Tulips. That's winner of the Dry Red Press Prize, Jane Walker. Look at this one with these ominous flowers coming in from the right hand side. Sharon Hall. Like this guy creeping in through the door. Look at that watercolour and pencil. So much detail in that. Look at it. Absolute work. Peace offering. He's coming in with a bottle of champagne. Oh, and who's this by? This is by me. This is my felt tip pen picture. I thought it was quite cool. I got in a picture that was done with the felt tip pen. So this is water-based felt tip pen on watercolour paper. It's called Wallace St Ives Room. Basically, I painted it in a cottage in Cornwall. I love felt tip pens. I love the way you've got that kind of zigzag vibe. It's when the felt tip pen collides with where you've just painted. You get that sort of shaky vibe. The whole thing sort of fizzes in your eyes, basically. All my paintings have a bit of that vibe. So I really enjoyed doing that picture. Did loads of pictures there. And it's called Wallace and Ives Room because it's kind of inspired by the colours of Alfred Wallace. And I'd been looking at his paintings in... what was it? Tates and Ives down there in Cornwall. And so then I was directly inspired by the colours in it to make this picture. Trying basically to control the colours a bit. Gotta say, if you look at more controlled colours, that John Singer Sargent show at the moment, or the video I've made of it, is really impressive at doing that. Birthday cake, that's very cool. I like this one. Annabelle Dover, The Athenians 2. Pigment and mica from the plants and rocks of the ancient Agora Athens. How extraordinary. It's actually made out of the stuff there. Intriguing. This one has a kind of Ken Kiff vibe for me. There's loads of them that got a Ken Kiff vibe for me at this place. We will see more undoubtedly. That's quite strange. The Annunciation and Feeding the Birds. A weird combination of sort of strange Annunciation and the birds in the garden. None of the birds are actually out there. The birds are here with the Annunciation, but not with the guy feeding them. Anyway, Alan Parker. Julia Sotheby, Licorice Tea. Quite interesting. Again, you're gliding on with this kind of almost narrative of these quite sort of detailed representational narrative pictures. This is by Joss Cole. I chatted to Joss at the private view. He's a really cracking guy with he's got a gallery in Leeds. I'll put the info at the bottom. 550 watercolour on paper, leaves left. Oh, Joss Cole, there we go. What I hadn't noticed before, he was laughing on the night of the private view. He called it his kinetic painting because, as you can see down here, that's the door handle. So all the drinks and stuff came out of this door, so his painting kept moving back and forth the whole time. What I only just noticed is it's like a weird world that wraps around. Can you see? So this stuff at the top is upside down, and it goes down the side of here, and then down the bottom. It's like a sort of world that's been twisted in on itself. This one is Debbie Lee, Leader and the Swan. Again, reminds me a bit more of that whole Ken Kiff vibe. I like the mirror. The mirror with the face down here. Quite strange. It's interesting that painting a mirror doesn't really work like a normal mirror. This is a nice little picture. Alexandra Willis. I like all these little things in the background. I like that sort of rough and subtle watercolour. Really nice. I like that. It's quite delicate. Moving on. I like these little ones. This little sort of forest is cool. Look at those trees. Nice trees in there. Olive Hay trip to Tesco. Very cool. More little ones. More things that seem to have a narrative. That cat is absolutely remarkable. Look at that wild cat in the background going completely insane. Alan Parker. Oh, there was another Alan Parker, wasn't there? Again, I can't help thinking everything has a kind of Ken Giff vibe. Even this could have a Ken Giff vibe to it. Alan Parker again, the Russian swimmer. I like the crazy tattoos on this guy. Look at them. They're really cool. And his crazy face. Watercolour. More watercolour. Watercolour on paper. Quite like these things where you've got sort of exploding colours and vibe and hands to it. Both these by Gregory Smart. I like something like that. It's quite sort of bold. It's not too detailed. It's got a real bow vibe to it. And even down here, Simon Carter. Look at that. Can't help thinking I might have had Simon Carter in an exhibition I did before. At the Cello Factory. River Crossing 2 watercolour. Look at this nice, simple, bold. It just shows you can move from those detailed flower pictures to something much more radical. Oh, that one. Acrylic on acid-free card. A memory of the Moor 4. Quite intriguing. Quite sort of abstracty. Trish Wiley. That's like a collage, watercolour and acrylic. And look at this thing. This is quite big. A big one there. That's like, what does it say? Acrylic and shellac ink on paper. A winner of the David Gluck Memorial Award. So that's another one of the winners. It's always interesting to see what wins. Quite fun, isn't it? That paper must all have been painted, I'm assuming. This is coloured paper to start with. No, I think it has been painted to get the colours onto it. Intriguing. These are quite intriguing. Obviously both by the same. Oh, this is another one. Winner of the RWS New Graduate Award, Honor Bathurst. Intriguing. I like the sort of way you got that glowing red gouache and pastel on paper. Oh, intriguing combination. Got a nice glowing vibe to it. I'll keep moving. This is cool. I do like this one around here. This is like a sort of alien abduction. Emma Harris gathering with night to paper pulp painting. I think they might have sort of, I can't remember, we were talking about the paper pulp. I think maybe they made the paper and embedded the paint into it. This is quite freaky, makes your mind go a bit mad. Infinity, watercolour acrylic on paper. Bella Branquinho. It's quite fun. It's quite nice as well. It's a little sculpture, you see. It doesn't have to just be watercolour on paper. Oh, I like these sort of quite simple, bold ones. Amanda Thesiger, this is another winner. This is a winner of the Windsor and Newton Prize, Sarah Tew. Dew Point Evening, watercolour on HP paper, 300 framed. Interesting, very subtle. Dew Point. Interesting, folded in the centre. It's a big, nice, intriguing, folded, but not a mono print, I don't think. Intriguing. Right, I don't want to spend too long, so I'll just give you a little vibe. Oh, this is winner of the Cotswold Mounts Prize. Oh man, and see there's like a little head in there. Like a sort of little, almost like a sort of living eagle. It's quite spooky. Down here, moving around. Wilfred Wood, both these two heads here. See, you've got nice different uses of watercolour as you wander around, all sorts of different vibe. It's a bigger one, I wonder what that is. That is a watercolour. 4,900. Patrick Cullen. Oh, I like this one here. Sometimes blind trust is all we need in watercolour, pencil and watercolour on paper. Quite fun. Maybe you can go for something like that that's kind of wild and spiky to something that's more controlled and spiky. Oh, that has got an award, but it's quite hard to see. Winner of the RWS Young Artist Award, Ned Elliott. And it's coloured pencils, watercolour, gouache and graphite on shoji paper. Fun. Grant Watson. I think I'll keep on moving around. Oh, Lisa Wright. I'm sure Lisa Wright does those other pictures that look quite like this, but these must be watercolour versions. They're quite good, very kind of contemporary, those sort of faces superimposed on different things. Right, there's quite a few more things here. Now, this was Enzo Mara, who I also met on the night. I had a chat with him. Rather cool, isn't it? Why She Cries, I Do Not Know. Watercolour on vintage book page. Interesting. Using a page of a book as his medium. Intriguing. Quite good. It's interesting. You've got a weird contrast between the incredibly careful Why She Cries, which I cannot tell is that part of the book, or is that painted by him? Either way, you've got a nice contrast between that text, which is crisp, and the tears, which are loose. And right beside it, you've got this madly detailed stuff. These crazy little faces, look at them. Wonderful. Right, rather wonderful chicken. David Melling. Right, I'm going to keep on moving before we spend too long on every single piece of everything. What a nice bird. Moving on through here, there's another sort of one that looks a bit like a sort of alien abduction there. Oh, this is winner of the Shoesmith Gallery Prize, Dre Cochane Dancer, Gouache. Nice, nice. Oh, look at these little ones, almost like postage stamps. Claire Spanton fragments. Oh, matches quite well with this. Watercolour on paper. Anna Aruna Radha Kotofa. Looks nice on the GoPro, that one. Right, keep on strolling around here. Oh, it's nice. You've got a landscape here that's a bit sort of lyrical with details over the edge, down to something rolling hills. I mean, what you got to give this thing is it's got a lot of variety, interest. Oh, another leader in this one. Winner of the Schminker Prize. Interesting. Oh, it's quite funny because that is presumably either meant to be a inflatable swan or one of those sort of pedalo swans. Quite like these sort of quite sort of earthy, chunky things. These are by Adelisa Mole. And then you've got something incredibly detailed. Look at this. Sarah Selfemini. Such detail. I like this one. Interesting. Toby Ward. It's got kind of those sharp, edgy lines to what's been put into it. This is really cool. Tory Day, OK Computer. That is really cool. Now, I did do something similar to that years ago. I would paint album covers, like album covers by the Jesus and Mary Chain. I think I might have printed them out and painted over the top of them. That's really cool. I like that. Nice. Oh, there's another one down here. Now Play. Oh, winner of the Sea White Art Materials Prize. That's a worthy winner. That's a really cool little picture. I like that. Really nice. Right. Lucinda Storm. Catherine Knight. I like this little kind of crazy. And that's the nice thing. This is on cardboard, acrylic, bodacious trial. It's so different to everything else. Oh, look at this. It's really thick. Acrylic and collage. And I just really like the way they sort of really build the things up. Now, what I haven't done, I haven't looked at that sculpture. I'll have a quick look at that in a minute. Just have a quick look at these other pictures around here. This is another one that looks winner of the RWS Publicity Prize. That one's on the posters and stuff. Again, that's a real Ken Kiff vibe to me. RNF Mo, listening to an old soul. Right, let's have a quick scoot around these last few. I like these big sort of melting humans. And you got like these nice. Oh, this is winner of the Cass Art Solo Show Award. Hey, you must get a solo show. Very nice. Polly Bernay, Fading. This is Polly Bernay as well. It's quite cool. You've got all these faces down here. Oh, this is winner of the Heatherley's Open Studio Prize, Ben Connors. Neela. There's another. One by Ben Connors there. we're strolling on down here. This is quite a big one here. Watercolour and gouache on Somerset paper. That's a big picture. Right, and that's it. I think that's the shop of this place, if you wanted to see the shop, which is rather nice. And this one, Mike Hankin with that sort of vibe. Right, I'm just going to stroll back through this place, have a look at that sculpture, and then we'll have a good little vibe. It's down here. Oh, these are quite interesting. I haven't seen these properly. Henry Miller, Cool and the Gang. Oh, look at that one. This one's on a matchbox. Oh, I see. This is an empty box of dog biscuits. Well, what more could you want? Very nice. That's on a matchbox. And then you got this, which is a sculpture. Which is rather cool. Right, it's me. 250. Bargain. Yes, acrylic paper and mount board. So, I mean, that's a nice vibe, isn't it? Gives you something quite you don't expect. So there we go. That's absolutely. Oh, and you got another sculpture down there on the ground, that sort of black and white one. So there you go. Rather a fascinating show. Probably, unfortunately, it'll have finished by the time this review comes out, but at least it will still work as some form of documentation of the exhibition. But yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's not. It gives you a real breadth of what watercolour can do and what it can be. Acrylic, gouache, felt tip pen, normal watercolour. Just shows you what you can achieve. And I like the way also the subject matter is quite wild, from something more figurative, something more abstract, to everything in between. It's really good fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. As ever, Wiedersehen and Arfes. Bye-bye. Speak to you all soon. And please don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, Cheveldrog. And, of course, if you want more art review exhibitions, art exhibition reviews, and interviews artists, subscribe to art.10.com. Okay, cheerio. Bye-bye.